Hey everybody, it's Kairos. I'm here doing a VOD review for a Gold 3 Evelynn, or sorry, Bronze 3 Evelynn. Oh, it just jumped to the end. Okay, so as we're starting up the game, so one thing that you're going to want to look at every game is your win conditions of what lanes need to get ahead, where you're going to be playing towards. That kind of changes throughout the game. But then the win condition in the late game of how are you going to win team fights? Are you going to split, like have a split pusher? Are you going to 5v5, fight around objectives? What are you going to do? And so when you look at this team comp, you have three assassins, an Ashe, and a Leona. So you don't really have engage. You have a few assassins that really want to get in and one shot somebody. And then on the other side, there's the Cho'Gath. There's a lot of crowd control here. Malzahar is very hard to play assassins into. Morgana Black Shield. Also, the Xayah has some self peel. So when you look at that, you have to realize there's not really a lot of people that you're going to be able to get onto in the late game. Cho'Gath has a AoE silence, knockup. He can one shot you from half health. Malzahar has a suppression. They're like Morgana Black Shield. Xayah has her own ult for self peel. So it's really difficult to play in the late game. So you should be thinking that your team needs to snowball in the mid game and end before you get to that point, before Cho'Gath is unkillable, before their whole team is just really difficult to engage on. So that's what needs to be in your mind. How can we finish the game as quickly as possible? So going through here, you want to just play through winning lanes. So you're clearing up towards your top side, and you can assume that Kayn will start on his Raptors. I think it's like 90% of the time, Canes will start on their own Raptors without a leash, and so you can just assume that's where he's starting. So I like that you're kiting camps here, but one thing that I would say is that I'd really like to see you kite camps towards the next objective that you're going to. So kite them towards the next camp. And also, I noticed that you aren't really using your auto attacks much on the camp, which you really need to. So be auto attacking while you're doing this, because that'll kill the camp much faster. Instead of only using your Qs, that takes quite a bit more time. Um, I I think there's only been like 2 auto attacks on this, especially with the red buff. You need to apply that burn there. So right now you're looking at top lane. So top lane is getting pushed in really far, which is kind of an ideal gank scenario, as long as this wave doesn't crash. If the wave crashes, then Wukong needs to be there to clear the wave. So you should be looking up at this, be looking at your bot side, be looking at mid as you're taking these. So you're looking up at top. Still decent gank potential. He's going to stay pushed in. He hasn't gone to ward, so you haven't seen him leave the lane yet. All right. So yeah, you see the Kayn on the bot side also, so you know that this is a safe gank up here. You regen a little bit off the Scuttle Crab, that's good. Then you get Wukong to stay, or actually his back gets canceled. If his back went through, you wouldn't be able to do this. All right. So the reason why this gank is good timing versus when it was right here, if there's a really big wave about to crash into the turret, your laner can't help you. Your laner can't come up and join that gank because the minions will start damaging him. He'll take way too much damage. Or if he doesn't come through, then that wave is going to crash and he loses all that XP and gold. So this is good timing. Cho'Gath is still overextended, even though the wave is pushing back into him. There's more minions over here than there are right here. It'll eventually push into him. But this is good. You get the CC down, and you keep good positioning. You stay between him and the and his turret, so that's really good. And now right here is something that costs you a lot in the early game that you won't realize it. So you need to push this wave. This wave over here on Wukong's side is bigger than this wave here. That means it's going to continue pushing towards Cho'Gath. There's just more minions, so they're going to do more damage. They're going to push in, and it's going to eventually crash on this turret. But Cho'Gath has teleport, so he could TP back into this, and because Wukong is low health, he could just walk. Cho'Gath could walk up and zone Wukong off of the wave, and he could set up a freeze right here. He could set up a freeze in front of his turret, be super safe, and get a huge farm lead, and basically negate the first blood and negate the lead that Wukong has, or should have. So you need to help him crash this wave, shove it all the way into turret so that the turret will kill these minions, and then the next wave that comes up will crash right here and it'll start pushing back towards Wukong. That way he can reset from base, walk back out, and the wave will be coming towards him. But with how it is right now, we're going to see basically Cho'Gath TP's back in. You need to help push because he can't do this alone fast enough. Cho'Gath spawns and then he's going to TP right back in, and Wukong can't do anything about it. Yeah, there it is. So you're partially responsible for what happens next in top lane. Wukong should be ahead, but he's going to be like 25 CS behind in a few minutes, and that's partially your fault. Okay, now you're walking across. I wouldn't walk across mid lane and like give free vision there. So try to just be aware of when you're walking on vision. So right here is another example of this is a time that you kind of mess up the bot lane. So you're coming in for a gank, but before you do this, you need to look at where the lane is. The wave is like huge. Your teammates are completely chunked out. Ashe is like 200 health. Leon is also really low health. And there's this wave in front of their turret that they can't walk past this to join. So they're going to tank this and they might die to the wave. Like they could honestly die to the wave from that. And they want to get this gold and they want to get this XP. Right now the CS is even. So in doing this, you don't have any help and you shouldn't expect any help because they need to catch that wave. So that's another pretty big misstep. You have 4 camps up. It'd be much better use of your time to be farming these camps to try and rush level 6 instead of going for that bot lane play that your bot lane can't help you on. All right, so next up, what you should be trying to do once you kind of see all this happening is try to get up to level 6. So that's a really big power spike for Evelynn. A lot of kill potential, a lot of just team fight abilities. So right here, rather than farming this, we'll just see how you path. Yeah, it's good to catch this wave here. So now you are kind of in an awkward spot. So you have 3 camps up, but you haven't cleared in a straight line. So this is kind of a concept that you really want to farm. It's a concept of farming efficiently. So I'd prefer you start down here and then come up and take Raptors, and then you can transition up into your top side, or you can look for Drake, or you can do something in mid lane. But now your options are kind of limited, that you can't maximize your farm because you have this camp down here, red buff spawning that you want to be on, and you have your camps up here. So you're just kind of spending a lot of time walking around, not getting a lot accomplished. And then you end up walking all the way down to the bottom side of the map after this play. You don't have Smite there because you used it on the Gromp. I'd only use Smite if you need it. And you're looking for a pick on the Kayn, which probably isn't really going to happen if he has his E available. So just not a good use of time. And then, so what you should have done instead of smiting this and then walking over here, just farm it. Just farm this, and then go down in a straight line. Ideally, you would have had this available, then your red buff and your Krugs, and then you're level 6, and you can do something else on the map. But again, you should be staying away from this bot lane. After kind of what you see Ashe is doing, or once she gets more behind, it becomes more evident. So there's a lot of wasted time. You walked all the way from Gromp up here, kind of looked for something, walked past both of these camps, walked past everything down to the red buff. So it's just not really efficient use of your time. You're halfway to level 6, or like a third of the way. Just keep farming. You've been ignoring Krugs quite a bit, which I think is a lot of XP that you're missing out on. And I'm pretty sure this is where their bot lane starts getting further ahead. Okay, let's see. So this is a really a big opportunity that mid is about to die. So top is dead, mid is dead, there's no reason to go down here. Ashe isn't down here. You don't have level 6. You don't really have kill potential on them. They both have level 6. This is like a wave. A wave is coming in and crashing. So instead, use the priority that you have in top lane and in mid lane to go and take the Rift Herald. You need to be looking at ways to accelerate the game to end early because we already talked about the win condition. So there's no reason not to go up and take the Rift Herald right now. You have double priority. Even if Kane shows up, both of your laners are there to rotate, and both of their laners are dead. So this is a missed opportunity to accelerate the game, which you need to do to win. Okay, I don't know if you hit 6 off of this. Right, you don't, and so it's a little bit tough. Yeah, you just are hitting 6 really late into the game. It's almost 10 minutes before you clip that, and it should be quite a bit sooner. I think like 8 minutes or something. Okay, so this is good. Playing to top, you want to play to your winning lane instead of playing to your losing lane. You hit 6, and then I'm pretty sure you return gank in a second here. Once he pushes back out. So this is a good punish because he shouldn't come back out since you're around. And then user 6, control that. And this is another example where I would help push this wave in, heal up off of your passive, come in here and take the Rift Herald because Zed has priority. The lane's pushed all the way into turret, and you're gonna be by the time you finish your back, you're already half health. You're gonna be like 66% health. Instead, you come down here. There's not that much to accomplish. They're really low. You get kind of lucky that these people they decide to stay, but this is not the optimal play. And you just see Kane go into the top side. So this is you capitalizing on a mistake by them, but it's not going to be there consistently. So this is just fortunate that you get the kill, but better teammates or better teams as you climb won't give you these same opportunities, and so you shouldn't bank on them happening. Like Morgana just walks back up knowing that you're in the area, so that's just a terrible play. And then the Drake call is good here. Leona's coming back, then she oversteps, and this is a good punish on her. Yeah, she shouldn't be clearing that ward. And then you can just take the Drake for free. So that part is good. You see Kane is on the top side. This is a free Drake. The thought process after that play is good. The play in itself in bot lane is not the place where you should have been. Okay. And at this point, Ashe is down. She's 0-3. Xayah is getting pretty far ahead, but you have a 2-0 Zed and you have a 2-1 Wukong. Just play around those lanes. You don't need to play around bot. And here's another opportunity. Zed just killed his laner, Kane is dead, not his laner. Top lane's pushed all the way in, mid lane's pushed all the way in. You can go and take the Rift Herald right now, and you should have done this earlier so that you could have dropped it and gotten plates with it. But it's still good to take now because first turret hasn't been secured yet. You could still get first turret. All right. And right now you're sitting on 2.7k gold. I would have liked an earlier back, probably after the Drake, or maybe after the kill on the mid laner. Malzahar, it would have been a lot better to take it back to spin that gold because right now you're sitting on just your runic echoes, and you're still on the map. So you actually don't get any power from your levels. Your levels give you very little amounts of power. It all comes from the items, and you don't get stats without spinning your gold. And so for that last like 5 minutes, you were really weak compared to the rest of the map. Not because you weren't fed, but because you hadn't spent the gold that you had from the shutdowns and everything. So you're still pathing towards the bot lane. This is not a lane that you want to be in. We kind of already established that. Rift Herald is still up. There's 2 people up top, and you have the Wukong. You win this 2v2 pretty easily. You should be able to do that. But down here, if Kane shows, you lose this 3v3, as we're going to see pretty soon here. And this might have happened, and you aren't exactly sure why you end up losing once Kane shows up. But it's just because your bot lane is so far behind, but you're playing around them, which you shouldn't be. So it's right about now that Kane shows up, and we'll slow it down here. So Kane comes over. You have 3 people. He's just 1, but your bot lane is so weak. This is why you don't play to your losing lanes, because they don't bring anything to a fight, and you're just likely to get shut down. So when you see him, I want you to save your charm. So Kane, he has an ultimate that makes him invulnerable. So if you put your mark on him, he can just attack somebody and then R into them, and your charm expires, which is what happens. So expect that he's going to use that. Like use your E, use your auto attacks, a Q, but save your W. Your W is like the most important part of your kit when it comes to skirmishes like this. So don't use your CC until he goes into his ultimate. See, you missed your R, or you missed your stun. Ash missed hers, and then something right here. So you would have been able to CC him and kill him for sure, and then you could turn on the Morgana. So that's a mechanical misplay. And then there's something else here that when you use your ultimate, you want to R towards safety. So I think it's right here that you use your ultimate. Do it this way so that you can get towards your turret. If you are and you end up back here, then you're isolated from your team and they can just turn on you and kill you, which is what happens. So use your R facing this way, position yourself better so you can R out and still be on the same side as your teammates and escape, because this is a lost fight once your R doesn't get the execute. So use it in this direction, because now you are isolated. They're going to get that kill, and then they can just turn on you, and you can't do anything about it. Yeah. So that's just positioning better for your R usage. So that's a little mechanical review. Save your crowd control until they are like for sure can't get out of it. Know that Kane has his R. That's just a champion specific thing. Okay. Then at 1830, so this is the build up that you kind of know that they are positioning for this Drake. Just don't contest this. That's the losing side of the map. You have the Morgana is really fed. Zai is far ahead of Ash. Well, Ash is 0-5, but Zai is 2 kills, so they're probably even. But Morgana is really strong, and you just don't really want to contest that side of the map right now. With their team comp, it's really hard for you to get anything done. If they have the Malzahar suppression up, if they have the Cho'Gath there, and once you see Wukong up here, he's walking out into his top lane. You don't see Cho'Gath up here, and even if he is, he has a teleport advantage, so he could join this fight. This is a lost fight. So just recognize these situations, cut your losses, go take the Herald. Just like handshake, take the trade. Thank you for letting me take Rift Herald. You guys can take the Drake. It's fine. It's their first Drake. It doesn't make a huge impact on the game. But instead, you opt into a losing fight, and it's like a 2v3 right now. Ash can't even get in the fight. There's really not much to do. I mean, Malzahar is going to follow this roam from Zed, and you guys are going to be pinched in here. This is not what you want. And Cho'Gath still hasn't shown. So Cho'Gath could be walking down here right now, and he probably is. Yep. Zed walks back up, and yeah, that's pretty much how you could expect that fight to go. And once they get that, they're ahead at this point in the game by 5k gold, and you need them to be behind by 5k. So this is like a pretty big difference. You need to be ahead at this stage of the game, because you only have about another 10 minutes where your team comp will be able to close out the game. So I think this is kind of the point where it's pretty much over. Cho'Gath is fed. He can now 1v1 the Wukong. And so he can just control the side lane, and he has teleport. So they're going to have global advantage on you. It's just really really difficult to win into this team comp, and you're still playing around bot lane. I don't know why you're kind of so set on playing towards bot when they're just not useful. The Ashe is 0-5, doesn't even have a completed item. It's just not going to get you anything. Even if you're getting kills, getting things like that, it doesn't amount to very much. I think this was pretty much it. I'm pretty sure the point where we know it's over is when Zed just gets one shot by the Cho'Gath, which is in like another minute or so here. But you kind of lost your opportunity to do much in this game because they can just group as 5 and you can group as 5 and they win. That's kind of how it goes. Cho'Gath is too big to kill now. You don't have a way to get through him because Ashe is just so far behind, and then you die right here. It's I think you already gave the shutdown gold, so it's not that much worse. And then they're gonna get the next Drake coming up here. So I hope that that's kind of helpful for you to figure out the areas of improvement. I think the two major takeaways are first to take opportunities to accelerate the game. There were several times there was Rift Herald available for free that you didn't go and take it. So that might just be a confidence thing of being able to solo the Herald. So I would just go into practice tool, practice soloing the Herald at level 6, level 7 with pretty basic items. Just get comfortable with that, learn how to do it healthily and quickly, and that'll give you much more confidence to take that objective because that's a really big accelerant to the game, especially before turret plates fall. It's a really good objective to focus on. And then second key takeaway is to not waste time on losing lanes. There were, I think, 4 ganks on the bot lane, 4 or 5 times that you went down there to try and impact that lane, but that Ashe was just really far behind. She just kept on dying, didn't get completed items. It's 24 minutes, and she just now got her Bork recently. So focus on other lanes that are already winning and snowball through those. So get the Herald and drop it in those lanes. Play on the top side of the map because your Wukong was ahead and your Zed was ahead. So use those advantages before they kind of disappear. So capitalize on those. I think those are the 2 major things. So I hope that this is useful for you and you can start implementing some of these concepts into your games.
Fire!